Hello, it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and here at SGTV we are joined in the studio by Lucas from Andy's Man Club, and today's subject is going to be creative expression. Another one which I must admit at first can seem a little bit, a little bit silly, but with all of these subjects we've been talking about, Lucas, we're trying to break down these stereotypes because at the end of the day, men's mental health especially, it's in a poor state, isn't it? And breaking down these stigmas, I think, is what is needed to get people in a better place. Yeah. And we've decided to talk about creative expression. We have. So what does that mean to you?
I'm not a very creative person at all. But what I'd say it means to me is when you see people taking their adversity and the struggle and turning it into something really positive, and a way of sort of, we talk about art, music, poetry. I mean, I'll pick on music because I'm a big music fan. But when you see like people who've been through these horrendous things turning their experiences into art and into a way of actually coping, it's a powerful thing. It's a really powerful thing. It all goes back to that sort of doing something productive, doesn't it? Whether it's going for a hike. I know you're into your gym stuff, aren't you? That's probably our ways of coping, and that's our way of doing something productive. But to be able to take those feelings and turn them into something beautiful, like a beautiful piece of music or a beautiful piece of art, is brilliant. I mean, I know a few people sort of throughout Andy's Man Club who were involved in music. They started making music based on the struggles. But you look at some of the biggest artists in the world. I mean, I'll take Eminem as an example. Some of the stuff that he's that he's rapped about is all related to his mental health and all related to his sort of inner demons and everything. And it might seem a little bit cringe to people, but it is really, really powerful seeing people turn this adversity into something beautiful and something strong.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. I think whether you realise it or not, some of the best art, the best music, the best sculptures, all these kind of things, they've been made from some sort of trauma or adversity. These people are expressing themselves throughout history. You can trace this back. It has been a way people have overcome, or managed at least, to deal with their problems, and like you say, produce something incredible, something beautiful, something relatable. Eminem, whether that's your thing, whether it's classical music, whatever it is, you look into it, there's probably something you can relate to. And I think music especially, you see it a lot with all genres of music. People will listen to the lyrics because they can relate. It's something they're going through. And then when they do it themselves and they're learning an instrument, or not tagging a street or something like that, but doing something creative with art, it's amazing what people can produce from this. It's
a powerful outlet, and I mean,
it's a healthy outlet as well.
It's interesting that you mentioned like how it's gone back for years, and like that was what I was thinking as soon as I'd sort of said what I've just said. Like, you can even look back at like Vincent van Gogh, and go like even further back. You look at these old painters and everything, these old musicians, and they were making stuff that were very intrinsically linked to the mental health. And I think that is an important thing to say. There might be people listening to this now who are thinking, I don't have mental health. Everybody has mental health, whether it's a bad day, whether it's stress, whatever it is, relationship breakdown, how you feel about it is your mental health. Everybody's got those emotions. And I think that's why you see throughout time people turning those adverse feelings and those emotions into art. It's been probably the most effective coping mechanism, and in a lot of cases the most profitable coping mechanism for people for literally centuries. It really has.
I remember, I mean, I don't like them as much anymore, but Red Hot Chili Peppers, when I was growing up, they were all really struggling with addiction and mental health, and some of the best music they made was when they were going through it. And now a lot of them that they've overcome, the music's not as good.
I agree. I do you know what? I'm a big Chili's fan as well, and I mean, you look at Under the Bridge, Soul to Squeeze, those types of songs that were released when these guys were really struggling and it were their only outlet. They were fantastic. And then obviously Scar Tissue and Other Side, which are all those songs that are about the depths of addiction. You know, it's just fantastic. We'll turn this into a Red Hot Chili Peppers podcast, won't we? But no, I mean, artists literally throughout the decades who've turned it into, you know, turned the mental health into art. I mean, even Elton John, there was an Elton John song I was listening to the other day that were really related to mental health. And, you know, wherever you look at it, there's been people who've turned these feelings into something beautiful. And I think ultimately it's raw and it's real. And that's what our sessions are. It's real people sharing real stories. And that's what these works of art and, you know, these works of music and poetry and books, plays, whatever they are people turning those feelings, those real stories, those real feelings into something beautiful.
And we've spoken in previous episodes about being achievable and realistic. So we're not saying you've got to go and be the next Red Hot Chili Peppers or anything like that, because we want things to be relatable. We want people to know that you can just take small steps to help improve your mental health. And one thing I remember, I think it was like an Ozzy Osbourne documentary, and he was sat at his kitchen table with a kid's colouring book, just colouring in, and they're saying, "Why are you doing that?" And he's saying, "This stops me doing drugs."
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, you're colouring in, it's not a Vincent van Gogh painting start from scratch, but it's doing something creative, something productive, because it's helping. And I've seen loads of people do that. They'll go and buy dot-to-dot books. They're not trying to achieve anything amazing, but it's helping them.
Yeah, and I've got a mate who writes poems, and like, do you know what? He's like me. He's very similar to me. You wouldn't expect him to be a poet because, you know, you're narrow-minded preconceptions of what a poet would probably be. But like, I remember him telling me that he'd wrote poetry, like, and he said, "Oh, I didn't want to tell you because I thought you'd take the mick." And I was like, "Listen, if it works for you, it works for you. Do whatever, you know." And that's it. You don't have to be a masterpiece, does it? But if you're expressing yourself in a healthy, positive way that's stopping you doing something negative, then fair play. Like, you know, it's the way forward, isn't it?
And it doesn't necessarily have to be creative as the way we've been talking about. It can be something productive. I remember reading a study about how doing something physically productive will help release, you know, good hormones like dopamine, because it's that sort of natural reward system for humans, just to be like, you know, I've built something, there's my reward, I feel a sense of achievement.
Yeah.
And people that work in the trades, I've spoken to them loads of times where they've said they took time out to do something like building bird boxes or kids' games out of wood because it's something they've enjoyed and they felt that sense of accomplishment or achievement outside of the work they're doing regularly, because, you know, although they might be enjoying it, if they're doing it all day, you lose that sort of sense sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
I think cooking is my most creative outlet.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, I love it. Like, love new recipes and everything, and that's, you know, it's that sense of accomplishment, like you say, once you've actually made something, and then, you know, a couple of days later, once you're in the clear and you realise you haven't poisoned yourself, you know, you've got that sense of accomplishment, and that's, you know, I agree with that. I really relate to that.
Yeah. Lucas, I want to thank you again for coming on the show and breaking some of these boundaries down and talking to our audience about this kind of thing. It really means a lot, and I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, love it.
Right then, as always, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below, follow Andy's Man Club, go check out one of their sessions, go and attend one, it will be worth your while. So please make sure you look out for the other videos in this series, and we'll see you in the next one.